Hi, Christine Peachy here. This is a tutorial to show you how you can update or create your rosters when you are carding US Club within the Legends family. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is you should see an email that'll be titled something about rosters updates. This is Lee Summit Legends roster updates. NPL teams, you will have one that will be entitled NPL Legends rosters updates. You're going to click on that email. Here's what that email looks like. Coaches, if you got this email and you have a manager that will be doing this, you can ignore this video and this email. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the shared Google folder links link. It's going to get you to a shared Google Drive, and you are going to find your team within the folders. If you don't see it for some reason, or if it's not named correctly, please let me know. And you should see a Google Sheet with your team name on it also. If these names don't match up to your official names, please email me and let me know. I've tried to make all the corrections that I've been notified about. Okay, so when you open it up, first thing you're going to do is going to upload all these goodies, and then you have your instruction page. I do understand that these instructions are very long. My plan is to go through this with you, so you don't have to necessarily read these, but they're there for your use if you'd rather read and follow directions instead of listen to directions. So the next thing you're going to do after your instructions page is you're going to click on the 1920 roster. So what I've done is I have brought over from the 1920 governing season in Sports Engine. That might not mean much to you. That just means I brought over the rosters that you had submitted last year. So hopefully you will see lots of names and stuff throughout here. You should see names that were on your team last year, and you should see date of birth and team. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick whether the player is primary. When it says player role here, then in the status column, you're going to tell me if they're primary or secondary. Primary, you're done. If you mark them secondary, you're also going to come over here and tell me what team they secondary with. You can also tell me if they left the club, or if they're just no longer a part of this team in a primary or secondary fashion. Also, staff members, you're going to come down to the staff, and you're going to tell me whether they remove them from the roster. They're no longer a staff member on this team. That would be coaches or managers. They need a new card. Or they have a valid card. And in that email that I sent, you can see that information there. I also want to point out that if it's something that you have to do, there is directions. These little black triangles in the corner will give you directions. So you can see here, this gives some directions for this column, and this gives directions for this column. Okay, so this is where you will identify from last year's rosters who's primary, who's secondary, who's changing team, who's left the club, if it's a staff member where they have a valid card or need a new card. Then you're going to go to this page here. So now you have a player that did play at Legends and was carded US Club. Then you're going to go to this tab, Legends Player / Staff, new to our team, which means they were at Legends. You're going to, again, there's directions to each of these triangles. If you click on the corners there, you're going to type in first name, last name, date of birth. You're going to tell me the gender, male or female, zip code. You're going to tell me their role. You can do nothing with the status column until you've done something with this column. So you got to tell me first if they're a player or a staff. Then you're going to tell me if they're primary or secondary. So this player, I typed in their information. They're a player and they're primary. This is another player, but this player is secondary. And if you do secondary, you're going to tell me the next column what team they're primaried with. You're going to tell me if they're staff. Staff's here too. And if they're staff, you're going to tell me they have a valid card or they need a card. Okay? That's what you'll do for kids that are carded US Club and were with Legends last year. If you're not sure, then you're going to go, or if the kid's brand new to US Club carding or brand new to Legends, you're going to go to this tab. Now this will require a little bit more information because I need more information to build a profile. So again, you have directions in the corners. You're going to type in, yes, I need the first name and I need the last name. There is no C column because it's something I have to put for everyone, so there's no need to bother you with it. You're going to tell me the role. So player, or staff, however you want to do that. Remember that you have to have something in this column before this one. So they're primaried. This player is going to be secondary. Remember, if they're secondary, you're going to tell me what team they play for. If they're staff, you're going to tell me if they're a valid or need a new card. You're going to put in their date of birth. This is extremely important. It has to be in the fashion that is described in the instructions. So please look at the instructions. Gender, you're going to tell me their gender. You're going to put their phone number in. Again, this has to be specified in a certain way or inputted in a certain way for me to be able to bring it up and make a profile for your players and managers or staff. So please make sure you look in the instructions for how that needs to be typed out. You're going to give me their address. This is in case you need like a suite or apartment or something. The city, state, Missouri or Kansas, and their postal code, and then their country. So all of this has to be filled out. Also, anybody that's put on this list, I will need you to email me a copy, clean copy, scannable copy of their birth certificate, because I have to upload it into the system. Hope that helps. Thank you. So once you have all of your players into one of these 3 tabs, or updated in this tab into these 3 tabs, I did want to mention that, I listened to the video, I want to mention that anytime you're marking a player as secondary, you are to tell me what team they primary for. I don't know if I said that correctly every time. So if you mark them secondary, in the next column I need to know who they primary for. So back to the instructions real quick. So that all of what I've gone over gets us all the way through all of these instructions, and we are right here right now on 3. That includes emailing me a birth certificate of those that are new. I make sure that you do it in this fashion. The file name should be team name dash last name dash first name, and you can email that to that email address. Okay, you're going to put your binders on Carol Stovall's desk with your reconciliation form completed, your medical release forms, and your birth certificates. And I really only have to have the birth certificates of the ones that are new. Really, I just have to absolutely have the reconciliation form and your current releases. I have to look at each of the current releases, current medical release forms, to make sure that there's one completed for every player as part of the officially accepting your player card into the system. Okay, so once you've done all of the rostering, you've emailed me birth certificates with the file name that's described right here, like this. It's going to help me out a lot. I appreciate that. You can put the medical release forms on Carol's desk with your reconciliation form. Okay, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to upload or email me photos of your players if you want them updated. So if you send me no photos, then you will have to put them on your cards before you laminate them. If you send me photos, I can put them in for you. Okay, so you're going to email me pictures, or you're going to put them into the shared folder that I made for your team. Okay, there are some requirements. Please, please, please make sure that you encourage your parents, or if you take the pictures, that it's basically from the shoulders up, so basically like a driver's license or state ID. From the shoulders up, looking straight at the camera, shouldn't have sunglasses on. Regular glasses, of course, is fine, but you need to be able to identify that that player goes with that card. So you also need to save the files for me as team name dash last name dash first name. Headshots can be the maximum size of 10 MBs, and the file types that are supported are these 3. Okay, so once you've gotten all of that done, then maybe you're in a situation where you need to get a staff card. So here I have some information. Okay, so if your name's not on this list, and you know you don't have a staff card, then you're going to use this link and fill out this Google form. It'll send me information so that I can get that. I need all of the information that's requested in the Google form. You will then get 2 emails. One from, once I get it built, you will get 2 emails. One's from Sports Engine and one from me. And my email will give you directions on what you need to do to get your background check started. Do not spend your own money. We will send you vouchers for both the Sideline Sports Doc and the background check. Now, this next one here, so all of these folks, if you're on this list, then your card is still valid, except you must do a Safe Sports refresher course. I have given you, I did that. It took me about 15 or 20 minutes. Here is a link to a how-to so you know what to do to access that so that you can update your player, or your coach's card, or manager's card. Okay, so these folks here are valid. They've already done their yearly Safe Sports, and their card was already valid. If you're not on any of these lists, then you need to hit this link here or down at the bottom, same link, so that I know that you need a player card. And I have the information to get your, not player card, staff card. Okay, so that basically is what that says. The links are down here. Email me if you have any questions. Thank you very much.